but always check your trigger warnings, because some authors write certain things in certain scenes that could be triggering. Depending on our experiences, anything could be triggering. So you should know for yourself what you can't read and what you can't take. And if that's the case, don't read it. Don't read it and get yourself triggered. But those are my recommendations. So thank Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Just Reading. Today, we're talking about sci-fi fantasy romance with black or brown-skinned female main characters. So, of course, we know we're going to have some coming in from one of our favorite authors, Ruby Dixon. She's on our list, guys. I have 5 for you. 5 fantasy romances that have black FMCs falling in love with big, piney, protective, touch her and you'll die aliens. So the first one we have is a series by an author that I discovered called Taylor Vaughn. She writes a series, I forget the name of the series, but the 3 books in the series that we have to talk about are His to Keep, His to Claim, and His to Take. And it's about alien warriors from the planet, they're called Zalthorians, or Zals, and from the planet Zalthoria, I think is yeah. And so here's the setup, okay? Humans are using space travel, and so a ship of humans that were migrating from Earth to another planet crash landed on a different planet. It wasn't the one they were supposed to head to, so they did not make it to their destination. So they crash landed on a red planet, pretty desolate, isolated, wrong solar system. They don't know where they are. The ship is kaput. It doesn't fly anymore. And they're trying to eke out an existence for themselves and their families. The survivors are. And the Zalthorians, they are like the dominant race or dominant species in that solar system or galaxy, right? And so that planet that the humans landed on is basically like in the Zal's jurisdiction. So the Zals have been fighting a war for 3 generations with another race of aliens. And there was a virus, they call it the extinction virus, that happened as they were fighting this war. And so Zalthorian females, their fertility has been impacted by this virus. And so for the last few generations, their population has been dwindling more and more because they're not having kids, the fertility rates are dropping, all those things, right? So they discover these lost people, very strange, new to the galaxy. No one's ever seen humans before. They don't know anything about them. But they realize that they have women. And the author takes you through it. Like, she sets it up. She doesn't give you all the information, but she gives you like pieces of the information as you read. And it's only 3 books in the series. I don't know if there's going to be any more soon. I hope there is, but the 3 that I've read, they're really good, and I'm looking forward to more. But so they make an agreement with the human leaders at the time that they would have, like, they call it a breeding ceremony, right? And it would be for human women ages 21 and over, high fertility age, and they would the warriors, the Zal warriors, would come to their planet, and the humans have called it New Terra. They would come, they would have their ceremony, they would take any boy children that were produced from the ceremony, but the human population could keep the women, girl children, basically, that were produced from the ceremony. And whoever the warrior is that impregnated that woman, that's his kid. So he would take it back to his home planet, raise it like his kid, like it was him and his Zal woman, female wife, whatever, partner that had the baby. And so they put a really, really high, they put a lot of value on these kids, especially the male of the species. So cut to Earth, New Terra, they're in desperate situations. They don't see it the same way that the Zal see it. The Zal see it as if it's an honorable thing. They view New Terra like it's almost like a pleasure station, like the warriors that are on leave or whatever, they dock there, they have a good time, and they go off on their business. Well, that's not how the humans see it. The humans see it like it's a violation, and they're scared. And the Zal warriors, by the way, are intimidating, and they're aliens. So Taylor Vaughn does, she makes them very alien warrior, like 7 foot tall, muscular, like intimidating, and so the humans are scared of them. And so there's a lot of cultural clashes that go on. They don't speak the same language. They don't have the same culture. Zals look down on the humans. They're like, we just have to deal with them because we can't have kids of our own. So we're just going to do the thing. It's a pleasure station, whatever. And the humans in turn are scared. And they're like, every day that their existence in New Terra is dependent on the Zelthurians' grace, basically, because they can barely grow food on the planet. They don't have any resources there. They're just barely eking out a living and survival. Book 1, the Kel, or the leader of Zalthuria, unbeknownst to them, follows him and a human female called Kira, how they meet and fall in love. And it changes a lot for the humans as it goes on, because once Kira becomes part of the Kel's life, he starts to see things differently, and then they start to work through communication, and it's a little hard to read sometimes, especially the scenes where the author is describing the breeding ceremony from the human's point of view. It's a bit hard to read because it's not tender and kind, but if you stick with it and keep reading, you'll see, like, once the miscommunications start to get cleared up, and there's political intrigue that you keep going through as you get through. By book 3, you realize everything's not the way it seems. Like, there's something underfoot within the Zelthurian political structure that nobody was aware of, but it's coming to light, and it has to do with the humans, and it has to do with Earth, and it has to do with getting more women to basically help produce children, but it's not on the up and up. Like, it's underhanded, it's kind of dirty. A villainous scientist is involved. It's intriguing. But all 3 female characters, book 1, book 2, book 3, they're all brown skinned. They're all Black women having their adventures, falling in love with the beautiful aliens. And the Zals, they are called jewel-toned aliens. That's what the humans call them, basically, because they come in all beautiful, shimmery colors, greens, yellows, purples. Like, their colors are beautiful. And the babies that come from the engagements, they call them swirly babies. It's a derogatory term, but the baby's skin is a mix of both the Zelthurians and the human mothers that they come from, right? And they call them swirly baby, and swirly babies is not a good term when the humans say that, but descriptively, when the author is writing it, it sounds pretty. But those were three that I really enjoyed. And let's see, which other one? Oh, of course, we can't leave out our girl Ruby Dixon, right? So the fourth one that is on the list is from her. It's an extension of her Ice Planet Barbarian series, and it's from another series called The Corsairs. And the Corsairs are the same type of alien, but these aliens, they're not like a lost tribe. They're from the initial group of Masaka people from Homeworld, and they're pirates, and so they're off in space exploring and having a great time. And I'm talking about the Corsair series. There are 4 in the series right now. It follows the 3 brothers and a friend of theirs. So it's Adiron, Caspar, Matthias, and the 4th book that was recently released was Bethia, something like that. And it's a female Masaka pirate, so that should be interesting to read. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So Adiron, that is the one that has the brown-skinned female character. Her name's Jade, and it's love at first sight for Adiron, and they have to, they come together, and so plot. Jade is another kidnapped human. Adiron and his brothers are trying to find a lost ship that they think is carrying merchandise. Legitimate merchandise like silks or some kind of clothing. And they find the ship, and it's supposed to be worth like a lot of money for them. So they're out there trying to find the ship, and they do find it, and they realize that it's not what they thought it was. It's actually humans that have been taken from Earth that are in stasis. Jade and a few of the women are not. They've been manning the ship. They've been trying to protect the other humans that have been in stasis. The ship's malfunctioned. They're lost in space. They don't know how to operate it. They know very little about how to operate the ship, but they've been doing their best to just survive. So Adiron and his brothers get on board, and they're basically, Adiron falls head over heels for Jade right away. She's strong. She's the leader, self-proclaimed leader of the group, or voted leader of the group, because the others don't mind following her leadership. And they have to save them. They have to repair the ship. They realize that the cargo isn't the cargo they thought, and now they have to do something about it. And so the adventure ensues with them trying to make it right what was happening with those humans that were taken. And there's no more Earth to go back to. They cannot take them back to Earth because something happened that I will not say, because that is also part of Ruby Dixon's series with the dragons. I can't remember it. So it's the Fire Blood Dragon series by Ruby Dixon, and it explains like what's happening. And this is one thing I kind of like about her. She connects her series. Like, it seems like it's not interconnected until you keep reading, and then you realize, oh my gosh, it's interconnected. And I really like that. So when I read The Corsairs and I realized what they were saying, and I was just like, oh, I read that series, and I was like, she's making the connections. It was really cool. It was really cool. I liked how she did that. She did that well. And so Adiron and Jade, so they're off, they're exploring, they have their own adventures, they fall in love. Awesome story. Last one, another Ruby Dixon. Now we're back on the Ice Planet, guys. And this one's called Nadine's Champion. And it's a new crop of women that basically landed on the ice planet and are meeting our big blue aliens and discovering life and figuring out what's what. And men as well this time, because interconnection again, that whole planetary space slaving thing that's happening. They clone, like, they clone whomever because it helps with their profits, first of all, but also they're cloning, like, they have a gladiator system and or gladiator market and competitions and fights, and so there are some gladiators that are also part of the cargo, and they are lost on the ice planet, or they crash land on the ice planet too. And so Nadine's champion is a cloned gladiator. And Nadine is a dark-skinned beauty, curly hair. Is a really good read, how they fall in love and try to just make the best of the new life that they've been thrown into. And of course, we know we have the Kui. I always mess that up, but you know, like the little alien, the little parasites, always just kind of icky. But you know, like the little creature that on the ice planet they have to have inside of them in order to survive, because it's so very cold. Like that thing that helps them find their mates. So, you know, that was a good read. So those are my five books with melanated, brown-skinned female main characters who are in space having their own adventures and falling in love. And we love to see it. So if you like that kind of thing, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, and of course, you know, they're all spicy. Ruby Dixon, you already know she comes with the spice. Taylor Vaughn, she comes with her spice too. And you will love it. I picked up Taylor Vaughn's because when I saw the covers, it reminded me of Ruby Dixon's Ice Planet Barbarians, and I was just like, I'll give it a shot. And then I read book 1 and I was like, oh, wait, is the heroine black? And then I read book 2 and I was like, wait, is this heroine black? And then I read book 3 and I was like, wait, is this heroine? And yeah, that's all she wrote. So, you know, I love it. I love to see it. So anyway, guys, enjoy those if you pick them up and you like them. Have a great time reading. Just remember, as always, just keep reading. Bye now. Have a great day.